Hello there, y'all. This is Cindy at cindybdesigns.com. It's been a while. I am going to stumble my way through this. This is a card that we'll be making today using the new Snowfall Thinlets dies. I went to an Eagles concert 2 weeks ago, my second one of the week, and like the third one of the month, and I lost my voice hooting and hollering for 6 hours, and so here I am. So we're going to be using a flake from Snow is Glistening. That's what we have going on for November, along with Happiness Surrounds is the other stamp set. And there comes some really cool goodies with it, such as all of those dies of the Snowfall Thinlets. And that's going to be our focal point today. There's little trinkets. We'll have one of those on our card as well. This stuff, the white velveteen paper, is like your childhood blankie. It feels that good. Lots of dies, lots of things that you can do. And again, we're just going to be focusing on the dies today. So here we go. Whisper White Thick, 4 1/4 by 11.5, scored at 5.5 for a top fold card, which I never do. I like to use my bone folder and score on both sides just to keep it flat. We have a piece of granite gray there. Dimensions, everything, sizes, you name it, will be beneath the YouTube description and on my blog at cindybdesigns.com. So for cardstock, again, the granite gray, we need the velveteen, a piece of Whisper White, some Dazzling Diamonds, glimmer paper, Winter Frost, just any kind of sliver, and then you want some of our Sizzix adhesive sheets. They're great. On one of my sample cards, I did not ground the first snowflake, and it had a lot of dimension like the other ones did, but everything was too up in the air, and I didn't have any images behind it to ground it. So with this, I want to ground, and since it's so intricate, you want to use one of those sheets. So you take off one side, you put your cardstock down on the sticky side. You saw me flip it over, and that's just to rub it down really well, or use your bone folder, cut off the excess because it'll make a mess in your big shot machine. So I have our base plate, the thin die adapter, the precision base plate, which you really need for these dies, cardstock, your die face down on top of the precision base plate. You want to crank that through a couple times. I like to turn it over and give it one more go through. And when I do that, I make sure that my cutting pad is pretty much trashed because the die is going to etch itself in. That die brush is a lifesaver. It's fantastic. It beats the daylights out of getting your pokey tool out or your take a pick tool and doing all those little things because we've been there before. Now I'm die cutting out of the white velveteen paper. Did the same thing. I'm switching my plates out now because I'm going over to just our little snowflake on regular cardstock. I don't need all that muscle power behind that. And as you can see, I put my clear plate on top because that is my good one. So there we go. I didn't take you through all that die cutting because it's kind of the same thing. So now I have some shimmer paint, and this is in Frost White and a damp aqua painter, the brushes, and I have my pokey tool, and I'm just going to flick that onto the back of the piece of gray granite cardstock for a little bit of texture. It's not cooperating with me too much, so I'm just getting it on there. I would have done that at the very beginning if I had to go back to let it dry, but it worked out. Pulling in my Stamparatus now because we do have a sentiment to stamp, but I take that back because we want to get the splatter down before we do our sentiment. So I took that off camera to let it dry. With my magnets, I like putting a piece of duct tape around it so I can pick it up and put it down easily. It also really helps on that breakage. Your manicure, your bones, everything. If you have a couple snapping together, they hurt. So we have the sentiment from his light. And you can see where I kind of got aggressive stamping there, went down a little bit too hard on the ink and got a smudge. You want to watch that with those large sentiment images. And you know how I love, or maybe remember, I call it my steamroller. It's just a roller. Helps get the ink down a lot more even, and once again gives you some muscle behind it. I did ink that up, and look how crisp. Inked it up 3 times, very crisp, and that's how I like my images. When I took it off screen there, I just put down a piece of white paper because I wasn't cleaning it. So this is the snowflake that we have our adhesive on the back on. I'm just going to talk you through it. You want to go through and pull up the ends first, and it's kind of like very monotonous watching paint dry, but once you get them up, the rest comes off. So I have the 3 large snowflakes, and I'm just laying them all down. When I put the second one on, what did I do? Oh, I'm trying to figure it out. If I remember correctly, all 3 of the pointy ends, they are going in different directions. So it looks like all the way around you just have one almost 18-point snowflake, and you can kind of see it there a little bit. So I'm laying down a ton of mini dimensionals. It's got to be done because if you look at the back of the cardstock, you're working with a lot of different textures, and you have a lot of different adhesives that work with those different kinds of textures. So far I have the adhesive sheets. I'm going to glue dots right now, and that's just going right on top of regular cardstock, so it is going to go. And that is glimmer paper. Now with glimmer paper, this is where you have to get a little bit neurotic. Only glue dots adhere to glimmer paper. Other adhesives do, but I like my stuff to stay together, so I do glue dots. So once I got all those on, I got in the middle as well. Then I turned around and got more mini dimensionals and put it on top of the glue dots. And you're thinking, seriously, but yeah, you know, you just had to do it. So that's what happened there. I spared you the rest. Peeled everything off, and then I'm going to, there, that's how I'm laying it down right there. This is where I really wish I had put this little star on dimensionals. It lays flat, but I have some good dimension on the card anyway, but I'm good with it. Here is our little snowflake trinket. That is metal. There is, you know, it's weighty. I figured I better turn over my image panel there and load that up with a ton of snail. And I'm just sizing it up on the front, left to right, because it is 5.5 lengthwise. Now I'm going to put my trinket on, and those are frosted anti-clear epoxy drops. I'm just going to lay down my usual visual triangle. Oh, and since I haven't done this for a while, I lost my outro, so nothing fancy. Thank you for stopping by. Please hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and visit me at cindybdesigns.com. Take care. Have a great day. There's our card. God bless. Bye.